So good morning, my beloved community. And I am, as always, just thrilled and excited that you have decided to take this time and join with me and the others gathered here in knowing a great truth about ourselves. And what I know is that something in this service, whether it's in the treatment or the music or the message, you are going to receive exactly what your heart is desiring. So let's begin by asking Gail Rhodes to do our opening treatment. So, Gail?
Good morning, all. It is wonderful to be with you in this format. So join with me now in knowing the truth. It is all God, all the time, always. And we are united with that wonderful power. We are all one. And when we come together as one to remember the joy and the beauty and the love and the kindness that is available to us is who we are at all times. There is a power in the universe for good, and it is ours to use. When we make that conscious decision that that is the power that we use, we create a world that works for everyone. It works for ourselves, and therefore it moves the entire planet ahead. So as we join together and we relax and we open our consciousness and we open our hearts to listen to beautiful music, inspiring words, we know that there is a shift happening in us. And that shift is for kindness. We know to be kind to ourselves, to be kind to our fellow human beings, animal beings, to be kind to the planet. And as we come together and acknowledge that, step into that, be that, it is truly a shift. So I release these words to the one mind, knowing it is already agreed upon. It is already acted upon, and it is good. For that, I am grateful. I release this to the universe, knowing it is so, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Gail. That was really beautiful. We're going to have an opening song. So, Madge, take it away.
Okay. Well, I am going to try to screen share. If let's see if it works. Yeah, there we go. Is that on your screens or only on mine?
Is it just 4 lines of the chant?
No, it's going to be more than that. So I will be having to scroll.
Oh, you'll have to scroll. Okay.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
I can make it. Okay, good. I think that's pretty good. And then, oops. Okay. So what I wanted to say, since I'm doing the screen share, is don't get hung up on the written words. Try to actually feel the words rather than just look at them. And partly to facilitate that, I'm going to do each verse twice. So it's a real short song, so that ought to work. In the village, lives are woven like the cloth that the women weave. In our dance, the circles open, joining spirits as we breathe. Repeating. In the village, lives are woven like the cloth that the women weave. In our dance, the circles open, joining spirits as we breathe. All the village works together, raising children, growing food, tending the sick and sharing our sorrows, celebrating our changing mood. just here for a blink in time. Yet each thread is joined in the weaving. We're all part of the great design. Life's a dance of all earth kind. Life's a dance of all earth kind.
Thank you, Madge. That was really, really beautiful. I so appreciate you. I can't even tell you.
It goes so much with what Gail said about God is in everything, not just humans, everything.
Right. Yeah, it's lovely. Thank you. Okay, so my topic for today is navigating chaos. And I want to give credit where credit is due. And so I need to acknowledge Reverend Cynthia James. And most of this is a rewording of articles that she has written on navigating chaos. So it's been quite a few months, and here we are, and what a ride. There's the pandemic, there's social unrest, there's political uncertainty, there's fire, and that has all been part of what for a lot of us has created a sense of division, emotional distress. And for me, it's been really hard to keep up day to day with all the changes. Personally, I've had to look for, incorporate into my life more and more ways to become clear, to stay focused, and to stay still within my own heart and within my own mind. And quite frankly, what that means is I am doing my best to learn how to navigate the chaos of these times. So let's start here. It's a quote from Cynthia's article. Everyone deserves to be loved, honored, and respected. Let's remember, we are connected. Which also goes right along with Gail's treatment and Madge's song. But that idea of being connected, for me, that was sort of the initial reason for us to even start these services, to be in a place where we can come together and connect as a community at least once a week. But I think that this topic today, the navigating the chaos, also is something that I think as a spiritual community, we can support each other. So that's why I chose this topic. So let's start with a couple of definitions, and these are also Cynthia's definitions, but she said that to navigate, sort of originally, traditionally, that means to move on, over, through water, air, and land in a ship or a car or an aircraft, but that it is that being able to direct your course, to manage your course by looking ahead and navigating where it is that you want to be. And I feel like that's exactly what we're trying to do emotionally, mentally, even physically, that we are here to navigate or to direct the course of our lives. And if not physically, then definitely emotionally, we want to be able to direct our course through these times. She also brought up that the word chaos is derived from a Greek word that means a chasm or a void. So again, that's the old traditional. And I really, when she brought that up, it got me to thinking about the formless state of everything before the cosmos was created. So, you know, whatever you think that was, that God deciding to create the universe, the bang of the universe, that's kind of what the original meaning was that there was a void And the thing I love about that is within a void, at any point within the void, the potential of all creation exists there. But now if we come up into today, the word chaos has a meaning that is a state of utter confusion or disorder. So what I would like to suggest is that in this confusion and disorder, there is potential for great change. There is potential for really navigating ourselves in amazing directions. But currently, I have been working with some individuals, but then just kind of out when I'm not out that often, but when I am out, I've heard many people describe that their life situation is chaotic. And that usually means that they aren't getting what they expected or wanted, and it definitely isn't feeling like it's a choice, that this has been thrust upon them. And I kind of get that, because for most of us, we are living very differently than we did 7 months ago. For many of us, homes have become combinations of workplaces, schooling, and your family life, and then perhaps even through the way people have been able to work remotely, trying to do connections remotely with other family. But that all usually is taking place in our homes. So our homes have often become a little chaotic. And people are, because of that, are experiencing depression. And there's, different depression for different people. But for a lot of us, the depression is coming from a feeling that we don't have any time or space for ourselves. And I was thinking about some of my friends and family that are single. And I know that depression also can come from that feeling of isolation. But I do believe that for many, many, many of us, that feeling of depression is a sense of suffering that is the best way I can word it. It comes from a lack of in-person connection. And so I think that many of us just, want to be connected and want to feel that connection. One of the things that Cynthia brought up in her article was that even while we're sleeping, people are feeling more anxious and distressed. And I kind of get all of that. So just as a reminder, or maybe some of you don't know this, in our household 7 months ago, David moved home, and he's been working from home until last Monday. And he decided a while, in the last couple of months, that he wasn't really happy with working where he was, but he liked it. It was an okay job. But he went looking, and he finally accepted a new job. It also happens to be in Redwood City, which is good, because he has a place there, but they want him on site. So we have now adjusting again to him only being here on weekends. So we adjusted, now we're readjusting, and in the meantime, Jesse is here and he's doing distance learning. So for me personally, that means I'm much more involved in his process than I was when he was going to a physical school. And so for us, we've had to find ways to create space, honor boundaries, and continue to nourish our relationship. And I'm not going to lie to you, this has not been easy, and sometimes incredibly frustrating. So Cynthia says, to trust when we cannot see the outcome is one of the hardest things to do and one of the most necessary to do things for spiritual growth. So trusting the unseen. But I believe that there's lots of things that we don't know, that by being willing to navigate differently, we can get further. So I want to talk just one more second about kind of where we are, and the example that Cynthia came up with, which I could totally relate to, was to think about this as a time of great transition from one way of life to another. And I loved it because the example she brought up was childbirth. And any woman that's ever been pregnant and about to, you know, bring birth and a child into the world knows that the transition is that last and most difficult phase of labor. The contractions are incredibly intense, and it can be so powerful that many women begin to doubt their ability to even give birth to a baby. And so they start requesting other support, which is usually medication. But the other thing that can happen in the transition period of childbirth is a really high level of irritability and upset. So every woman who has ever been pregnant has been told about this phase. But when it's actually occurring, managing the pain and the energy can become incredibly difficult. So I like that example because I agree with her in that I think that humanity is experiencing a very similar thing right now. Everything is intensifying, and many of us doubt our ability to navigate these uncharted waters. We know life changes. In fact, we have a million sayings about the only thing you can count upon in life is that it's going to change. And we know that we cannot predict the future. And we also know that human beings, as human beings, if we don't deal with the changing process, it's going to even be more difficult. So even when we consciously know all of this, we can still become anxious, intolerant, impatient, and in my case, very cranky. Ask the two men that are in my life. So what is the answer? And how do we manage these things? So Cynthia in her article gave us 10 tools, and I'm going to go through them really fast because there's 10 of them, but I really loved them all. So the first tool is to get in touch with your inner advisor, intuitive nature. So each of us has an inner sanctuary, and I think most people on the call, part of the reason you're on the call is that you on some level already know that. Within that inner sanctuary, there is great wisdom. So to give ourselves time every day to touch into that intuitive nature, that inner advisor, is so important. And it's not that difficult. There's lots of forms of meditation and breathing techniques that can support just letting you quiet yourself. So you can do this, 2 or 3 times. So I want to share with you really quickly. I don't think I've shared this with you guys, but it's something I got from David Bruner, Reverend David Bruner, and he calls it the square meditation. And so this is how it works. So the square is this. Okay, so you breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. So let's just do that a couple of times together. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Out. Hold. Now without me talking, in. I just find that so lovely, so relaxing. And for me, since I've learned this technique, I can do that, you know, I don't close my eyes, but I can do it in this car. I can do it standing in line in the grocery store. And I always feel that little bit of centeredness happening. So it's a great tool to get in touch with your inner advisor intuitive state. The second tool is to find people that are willing to hold you in love and to support your highest vision of yourself. So basically, and we have talked about this in the last couple of weeks, it's like, you know, don't engage with your naysayers. It's like, you know, just love them. But when you're talking about your heart, be sure that the people you are talking to are willing to hold you in great love and great care. You want people who have a strong faith and can stand with you through these trying times. The third tool is to activate your faith. And the thing that she suggested was to just use affirmations, which I guess I shouldn't say just use affirmations. Come up with 2 or 3 affirmations that are really good for you. You can write them down and leave them places, but just that you know them so well that when you're out and something comes up, you can use one really quickly. She has a couple of examples. I live in a safe universe. I love that. I live in a safe universe. And the second one was, no matter how I feel in this moment, I am okay. I am exactly who I need to be. So what we know about the use of simple affirmations is that they can create very powerful shifts. So remember that third one, to activate faith with your affirmations. The fourth tool is to invite love. And you invite love lots of ways. Right now, a lot of that is virtually, but be willing to, you know, send texts, be on Zooms, do email, make phone calls where you are expressing your love to the individuals in your life, because we know that what we give comes back to us. So that's how we invite. And all of that is going to make a big difference. So the fifth tool, this one is a little challenging for me, but I'm going to share it with you. and what it is to tell the truth about your fears, your doubts, your challenges. And basically what Cynthia was talking about is that you cannot run away from your fears and your doubts, because wherever you go, there you are. And so they will chase you. And sometimes when we start feeling them and we stuff them, that's not a way to heal them. That's a way to create more suffering because you're holding it really tight. So Cynthia suggests that if you have a little bit of time to think about it or write down a feeling before you're expressing it, so you're completely, out in the world, that's good. But that basically you need to find a way to admit that you have these fears and doubts, because that's when they come to the surface enough that you can actually do something about it. And if you do, and so she's really big. She said several times, like journal. So writing things down is really important. In this case, you could write it down, rip it up, burn it, whatever. But if you feel that you have the need to talk to someone about this stuff, talk to a practitioner. We have 3 on the line today, or a therapist. And why? And the main thing is we're not looking, and when we're dealing with our fears and our doubts, at least I don't really want sympathy and validation around them. I want healing. So be sure that who you're talking to is someone who can lift you up. Okay, tool number 6, release rage and anger. Okay, go, release it. This is another one where she's, yeah, she's talking about writing, journaling as a powerful tool. And one of the things that she brought up, which there was more evidence than what I'm going to share with you, but she was talking about several studies that show that when individuals write about their emotional experiences, that there's often significant physical and mental health improvements follow almost immediately. And they may not be the end game for you, but it's something to do. It's a place to start. So, and I personally, I do feel like journaling is so important, and how you want to do it or what you want to do with it, that's up to you. But even a journal where you just write down at the end of your day the 5 things that you're grateful for, those are all just really powerful tools. Okay, tool number 7, observe your resistance. So she's saying, remember that this chaotic energy is a messenger. So we need to pause, observe when we're feeling resistance or angst or anger or doubt or fear or anything. Just pause and ask yourself, what am I afraid of? What do I need to move into? Or what do I need to move so that I can be in a way of recognizing my powerful state of being? And what support do I need to have in this moment so that I feel supported? But that's all part of the observe your resistance. So tool number 8, practice forgiveness. And this is forgiveness. The first thing she brought up, practice forgiveness for your own thinking, your own feelings, and your own projections. And I love that. It's like, oh yeah, I just did that and I'm still okay. I forgive myself, move on. And the reason that forgiveness is so important is we know that when we're holding on to our angst, whether it's towards ourselves or towards others, towards events, that doesn't support us. That doesn't help us at all. So take some time to release your judgment of yourself and that of others, and then claim what it is that you truly desire. This is happening, like, for me almost on a daily basis, where I realize I've said something or done something and then I'm not happy. So I immediately do my best to forgive myself and then go and do my best to make amends, make it right. Okay, tool number 9, fall in love with yourself. So this is that acknowledgement and embracing of where you are on the path, and also acknowledging and embracing your wins, what is going right for you, and do loving things for yourself daily. She said that that's so important, and to remember that you matter and that you are worthy of great love, and particularly self-love. And the last tool, tool number 10, is move your body. And I loved it because she introduced the concept of ask your body what it needs. Does it need to move? Does it need to run? Does it need to go for a walk? Does it need to swim? Does it need to ride a bike? Does it need to lay down? Probably that's not moving, but stretching. And what I have discovered, because I have stayed pretty physically active through this time, is that movement is medicine for me. And it really helps me to release unwanted energy. So that's number 10. So those are the 10 tools. If that was too fast and you would like a list, I'd be happy to supply you with one, or the link to the article. And she kind of closes with this statement: there are no mistakes, just opportunities to grow and expand. So I think that's so important for us to remember, that wherever you are in this moment, there is no mistake and there is great opportunity. The other thing that I would love for you to know is that you are not alone. And yes, the presence of the universe is right where you are, which takes us back to the earlier ideas. And I am just wanting you to also know that you are not alone, and to know that I hold this community in my heart, in my mind, in my daily treatment. And I invite you to do the same, to just open to this community in a greater and greater way, so we all know that we're never alone. And I'll close with this too. It's so important that we take care of ourselves and we take care of one another. This time will eventually pass, but what we do right now is going to make a huge difference in how that emergence looks. I want us all to emerge stronger, more loving, more connected than ever. So now is the time for our treatment, and as always, I'm going to start with a minute of silence. And if you have a request, to please put it in the chat, and then I'll, in a minute, I'll do a treatment for us all. So join with me now in silence. So I begin by knowing that there is only one thing happening, and that thing is God. That there is great love, great strength, great potential that surfaces through each of us in this moment as we connect with that intuitive nature. We recognize this great strength, this great love within. We also recognize the support of the universe as the presence itself, but also through the individuals that we have attracted into our lives, who we recognize are here to love us. And we affirm the great goodness that is ours in this moment and every moment. Together we are here to be these amazing beings who find a way to be uplifted even in the chaos, that we find a way to navigate, so that we know as we emerge from this time that we do it with great enthusiasm, and yes, forever changed, but changed for the good, changed for the better. And it just feels good, it feels right, it feels like love, it feels like God. So as I know that this is all true for myself and for everyone here, I recognize that spirit within. and I see it within you. I see it within all beings everywhere. I see it within the planet. And I embrace and love the unique and the precious within the diversity of our unity. And so I end, as always, by recognizing that this is true for all beings everywhere, known and unknown, seen and unseen, great and small. And together we acknowledge that all beings are happy, all beings are peaceful, all beings are free, for all beings are God. And I let it be so, and so it is. So now is the time for our offering, and I do want to remind you that there are several ways in which you can give to the center, and one of them is to just mail a check to the center. The other is to, if you have electronic bill pay, make us a payee or make the center a payee, and you can do that, weekly, monthly, annually, whatever works for you. And I also do want to remind you that we do have a PayPal button now on our website. So you can just go to www.cslukaya.org and you'll see it's pretty much a page of buttons, but one of them is the PayPal. And several people are using it, so we're very excited about that new way for all of us to give. And so now, let me see if I can get our offering affirmation up. I think that's right there. Yes. So hopefully you can all see that. And say with me now, divine love through me blesses and multiplies this gift. With all my heart and with all my mind, I know that I am saying yes to something I value. With all others present here, we dedicate these gifts to the values and visions we share. So, I just have a couple of announcements. Bonnie has, again, is asking if anybody is interested in becoming a board member. We have an annual meeting in January, and we'll be asking some people to join. And we would really love to have 2 new board members. So there are some requirements, but if you're interested, please call or text Bonnie and let her know. The other thing is today, I got a text yesterday from Reverend Lynn Fritz, who we all know and love, and she is spearheading a moment of prayer and affirmative thoughts. Well, this is what she said, a moment of prayer and affirmative thoughts for our nation and for wherever there is suffering in the world. This is just something that you do on her own, but she's just asking to please consider adding your positive energy, your treatment at 6:30 tonight. There's no login, it's no Zoom, it's just knowing a greater truth. So that's about the conclusion of our service, except for we're gonna have one more song from Madge, and then if you want to stay on, we'll have a little bit of sharing time. So Madge, you want to take it away?
Okay. Well, as often happens, my choice of song seems to dovetail with the talk that Candace gave. And it kind of goes with that, one of those tools, which is to do a mantra of what you need to hear for yourself. And so everybody can write a song out of their mantra and then sing it to themselves, or if they prefer to just use words. But this was a mantra that a very dear friend of mine, Susanna Jacobson, wrote for herself. And the words are simple. Love surrounds me, healing fills me. And we're going to do it at least 6 times, because let it really sink in that love surrounds you, healing fills you. What a way to cope with chaos. Love surrounds me, healing fills me. 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 Ooh, Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madge. You know, one of those tools was affirmations. That would be a great one to just, you know, just be able to repeat to yourself. So it's been great. And like I said, if you want to visit for a while, stay on. But for now, if you have to go, again, thank you for being here. And namaste, my beloveds.